This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. I'm here. Hold on. I'm trying to close my door. Sorry. Always unprepared. My goodness. Okay. Let me change this background real quick. I have been looking at other backgrounds, but I've been so busy. Hey, Thomas, Teresa, Screaming Daisies. I like your name. Bad Girl, Jenny Jim, my lovely. Anna, Sue Joy, Rose Thorn. Good to see you. Indie Girl, Rose Thorn again. Anna, Bad Girl, Queen Olive, Ruth Ann. I like your name too. Serena, Jeannie B, Miss King of Anything, Meemaw, Anders. Good to see you. Alex. Hey there, y'all. Darlene. Good to see you. Content Angel. Heo. My lovelies. Miss Kimmy. Darla Ann. I hope the critters get lots of food and they're enjoying their food that you're going to feed. All right. So I want to show you guys real quick what I have been doing. This morning, I have been typing. I went through Jen's interview and the first one, and I typed basically everything they said. I am working on getting these up in Discord. I will work. I got to get, my mod usually drops a link that's accurate. For some reason, my links that I try to get to Discord say they're like not valid anymore. So, if I can get Sarah to drop the link to Discord, you guys can join. And I'm asking one of my other mods to put these in a folder where everybody can see them. So basically, I have a more accurate timeline. Now, I was able to get the first interview with Jen done and the teacher. What I highlighted on the first interview with Jen was Stephen woke her up between 7 and 8 to walk the dog. She went back to sleep till 9. Pickup is at 4. She waited in the car line 10 minutes. She never came out. Thought maybe she missed her. She says, I went to, and then it's redacted office. So that's telling me it was the mom's office and not the school office, which is weird because why wouldn't you go into the school office to see if she was there? Like, why would you immediately leave the school and then go to your mother's office to see if she walked there instead of going to the school to see if she was at school that day? Like, I would think that my first reaction, hold on, I'm getting YouTube pulled up for you too. I would think my first reaction would be to go to inside the school to see if she made it, right? Like, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think I am. Okay. And then she said in that interview, where she says she expressed multiple times that when I have said, okay, Stephen might take you to school and pick you up, Maddie says, can he pick me up far away? Can he leave me here? I don't want to be seen. The officer asked her why, and she says, or basically, he drives that Buick. And so I'm assuming she's pointing to a Buick that is there. So if Stephen has a Buick in the parking lot, why is he driving Dad's car? And then on that one, I have went through text February 2nd or 3rd. She expressed to a friend that I was crazy. The reason I highlighted that was because that tells me that she's going through her text messages. And you mean to tell me that she never saw anything at all suspicious between Maddie and Stefan on her phone, like going through her text messages and things? You never saw anything suspicious when they were talking. I'm not buying that. She left her debit card here and all her birthday money is here. Cell phone is here. And we learned yesterday that when the sister says in the interview with Juan that she left her money, she's basically referencing she left her money at home, not necessarily here or with grandma. She's basically saying she left her money, so therefore she didn't take it. So therefore she's not like trying to catch a bus to Dad's house in Houston or something like that. Sorry, I'm looking for my Madeline Soda playlist so we can get into this. And for some reason having a problem finding it. Okay. And then she's diagnosed as ADHD. She's been diagnosed since age 5 or 6. That's important because some people pointed out that when Madeline got diagnosed with ADHD and autism, because she says she was diagnosed then as well, that Stefan had just entered the picture. So we're thinking that's when the abuse might have started. There it is. I don't know why I couldn't see it. I don't want to play all. I have a couple more things that I'm going to tell you, and then we're going to get into it. The next interview. The last part of that interview, I highlighted no boyfriend. She did recently tell Stefan she had a crush on a boy, and we saw text messages between them. Nothing seemed weird. So that was important as far as the motive of possibly Stefan being jealous about. All right, don't start this with me today. Playlist. As far as, okay, that was weird because as far as if we're going to go with the motive that Stefan got jealous of the fact that Madeline had a crush on somebody else, it's important because he saw actual text messages between them. Okay. So we just did the okay. And that's the audio interrogation. Hey, Edith, thank you so much for gifting a membership. That is super supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. If you are gifted a membership from Edith, please tell her thank you. You are so awesome. I'm going to play our clip real quick. Thank you so much, Edith. So I'm looking, and it's weird to me because I might have this playlist out of order. The next one I have is when she rides to Central Operations. But I'm trying to find the one where they tell her that Maddie looks deceased. I'm going to click this one just to see what date we have on it. Hey, I know who killed you. NC Boomer, New York City Boomer, Miss King of Anything. Yeah, he was driving the Lincoln car, but she says he usually drives the Buick and points to it there. And if I remember correctly, he said the Buick was being worked on like somewhere south of, like down by his dad's house, which was weird to me, but I could be wrong about that. Okay. So Jen rides to Central Operations February 27th, and per the teacher, says Monday, February 26th at 5:36 p.m. through app talking point. She said, "Hi, did Maddie make it to school?" He replied at 5:53. I guess we'll do Central Operations and then go from there. So let's see what we can find through through her ride to Central Operations. I think. Hold on. What is there one y'all want to do? I'm trying to, because I don't think there's much in that one. Let's come back to that one and get into a good one first. We've done that one. Let's do this one. Police discuss what they took from the apartment and are done with the lies. Let's see what she says in this one. And I'll grab the date on it so we know the actual date.
This interview is from February 29th, around 5.
So this is going to be the day before, because she goes in and is hit with the CSA images on March 1st. So this is going to be the day that Steppen gets arrested. I don't know if it's before Steppen got arrested or after. I think my playlist is out of sorts. So we're going to start with that. I thought early on it was said he had an old Toyota. Could be wrong. Okay, we'll have to look into that and see what we can find. So she didn't know what car he was driving her daughter in. Yeah, she said he usually drives that Buick and points to it. Hold on, let me read it. She has to be dropped off a block away because she's embarrassed of his car. She expressed that multiple times. When I have said, okay, Steppen might take you to school and pick you up, Maddie says, can he pick me up far away? Can he leave me here? I don't want to be seen. He drives that Buick, but to her, that's an old hoopty car. Had a great Sunday with family and friends at birthday party. And that's also weird too, because she knows that he came after the birthday party, but she can't remember if he came Saturday evening or Sunday morning, which is also weird. February, thank you, Jenny Jen. Jenny Jen's always got the dates. February 28th, he's arrested and she sees CSAM images. Okay. So this is going to be after she sees the CSAM images. Do y'all want to review the CSAM images interview first? I suppose we can go back to that one because we need to get everything. We need to get everything. Yeah, on the 28th. Okay, so that's the CSAM images interview. So we'll go back to that one. I'll check the rides to Central Operations. Unless y'all want to hear it, I can play it, but I don't think there's much in that one. Okay. Yes, says Britt Nicole. Hey, Britt Nicole, thank you for being here. He was home with his parents that Saturday. Yep. It creeps me out that she wanted to see more CSAM images. I know, Teresa. All right, so we'll go over the CSAM images and see what kind of timeline we get from this. I'm going to give y'all a trigger warning. This one's hard to hear. Okay. No, I don't think so. Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. Hold on a minute. I just went away and was like, reload. Oh, okay. I was like, did my live stop? Did I lose my family? Can't be losing the family. All right. It's because I'm uploading stuff to another file for another case. Hold on just a minute. What the crap? Let me back it up first. There. Now you just wait right there, sir. Mr. Video, you just wait right there. Pump the brakes, YouTube video. There we go. All right, let's start. This is going to be February 28th at 3:49 p.m. I don't got my good writing pen today. My heart is broken because I don't got my good writing pen. February 28th at 3:49 p.m. Trigger warning. Please be on standby, says Jen. I will be on standby. Alrighty. Let's get into this. Now, I'm going to tell you what the picture is in case you don't know. I'll tell you because I cannot, knowing what this picture is, that she has this reaction. Miss Jim Morrison, it's good to see you. Miss Jim Morrison said, why didn't Jen listen to her family? He wasn't even welcomed at her birthday party. That type of hate goes beyond the fact that he's lazy and unemployed, because so was Jen. Good point. Good point. Yeah, indie girl, that's where I'm like, what the crap? Britt Nicole said, I believe she knew all along about the SA. I don't care what anybody says. She was way too calm when those detectives told her what they found on his phone. I'm with you. I believe you. And I'm with you on that because I would not be that calm. How does someone trust a man your family doesn't want around for a good reason? Jeannie B, that's a good question, but a lot of times, like I can remember times my parents didn't like my boyfriend at the time, so I don't know. I could understand that. I mean, but I wish they had listened to their intuition. But then again, if everybody listened to their intuition, then and there's lots of times when people feel bad about a person that's not necessarily bad, you know what I mean? So I have to try to look at it from both sides of the coin. Like, what if they felt bad about him and were really mean to him and he wasn't doing these things? You know what I mean? Hey, all things serious, it's good to see you. All right, so we're going to start on this. I'm going to get my notes and my pen ready, and I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up.
Reference Orange County case 24-013-113. Today is February 28th, 2024. Time is approximately 15:49 hours. Detective Acosta, located at Central Operations, conducting an interview with Jennifer Soto, and President is Detective Killis.
Are we going to the budget family? Most likely. Okay, that hasn't started yet?
So she's walking in. Maddie's best friend said Maddie told her Jen didn't believe her, but never said what about. I'm wondering if it was her Christmas money or what Stephen was doing to her. Good question. I wonder if we'll ever know the answer to that. Y'all, I apologize if I sound weird. I'm sick. Bad Girl says sometimes people don't like someone because their personalities clash versus someone who just creeps you the fuck out. Right. Right. Jen also said she had a rule a long time years ago, so she knew something, in my opinion. I mean, it's weird to me that the whole reason they went upstairs and started sleeping in the bed was because Jen or Stefan said that him and Maddie wanted to go upstairs and have snacks and watch a movie alone in the bedroom. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to be alone in the bedroom instead of in the living room where everybody could see you and what you're doing? Lastly, I wish the detectives dug into that dynamic. Did Jen talk crap about Stephen to her family, and that's why they didn't like him? Very possible.
I have to check. I do not know. I've been out here. Doing okay? Going up all right? No, I know it's not.
Sarah, now that you say, wasn't that when Jen said, "Oh, you know how teenage girls are"? I question because I do remember hearing that, and it didn't click to me. We need to find that. I question. Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird thing to say. Hey, Connie. Indie Girl said I was thinking that maybe she would make them go to sleep when she did, and half the time they weren't even tired. Don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Let's go see where he's at.
Yeah, he should be ready. I just gotta test that connection. Which one? The USB connection.
Yep, Boomer. He had to have closed the door because nobody ever saw her in the room with him. Absolutely.
Over here. We're going to be on the more
Sarah said Maddie told her best friend told her mom, best friend's mom talked to Jen. Yeah, I need to validate that, but I think that's true. Hi, Voices Behind the Wall. Good to see you. Hi, Gina. Could Stefan have manipulated Maddie to keep things a secret? I think so. That's what they do.
So like I told you, my name is Detective Police of the Sheriff's Office. This is
Detective Acosta.
you're
Thanks.
Jennifer, correct? And then I'm assuming? Is that what I understand?
Yes, but he's actually on his way to Florida.
Okay.
I need to ask for these again without redactions, since a lot of it's out now. They're redacting it. I didn't pause it. What's your first name behind the wall?
He recently moved back down in December to Northport, Florida.
Okay.
His dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck down.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We are waiting for
That matches what she said in her first interview that I typed out, that Stephen was offered a job. Dad offered a job, that's why he moved, job fell through. Typically stays for days. This time it was going to be a week to help with Maddie because Jen had a new job. Can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning. Saturday night after 8:30 due to come in after party is what I wrote. All right.
He used to work at Disney.
Okay. What did you do at Disney?
He worked in attractions at Epcot.
Okay.
And
we have to wait. What was the job that his dad was trying to get him? Do you know?
It was like construction manager or like an assistant construction manager or project manager, something like that, like an apprenticeship kind of thing.
Okay.
That fell through. So we were waiting we have to wait a specific amount of time for you to reapply to Disney again.
Okay.
From when you resigned.
Right.
So we're waiting for that time for him to reapply again so that he can come back up here.
Okay. So how often does he stay at the apartment with you guys?
So he was living with us up until December.
Okay.
And then he's visited us like since December twice or 3 times since then.
And how long does he usually stay for?
Anywhere from a few days to a week.
Okay. And then he goes back down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming he stays with his dad when he goes down there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has he been in town recently?
He got into town Sunday evening.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was staying with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in this interview, she's very clear and precise about it was Sunday evening, when in the first one she couldn't remember.
All right. And then
it's redacted.
They're very similar. They're both very childish. Like he loves board games, video games, arts and crafts, all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
Corey said Madeline couldn't have walked to school because it was in a different school district. I think that where he dropped her off at the church is close to that school she was going to. Madeline couldn't have walked to school. It was in another district. Only place seen was Madeline would have walked to her aunt's. And thank you for being here, Corey. Teresa said apprenticeship construction manager. That doesn't make sense in my opinion. Yeah, you got to have qualifications for that is what I was just thinking. But yet you can keep the job at Disney, like on and off. Like you've been able to work at Disney and keep that job, which makes me even more creeped out because like your dad is getting you these like what I would assume would be a high paying job as like an apprenticeship construction manager, project manager, all of that. That's a good high paying job and you're not able to keep that job, but you're able to keep jobs at Disney and for some period of time at least. Why Disney? You know what I'm thinking, why he wanted to be working at Disney. Hey Gina, if I didn't say hey to you.
What do you mean?
Like I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the games.
Oh, okay.
I'll
I
be
see what you're
part of
saying.
it that way.
Yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay. Do they ever go off on their own? Like you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever?
It's for the most part, it's the 3 of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep on a couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room, sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all 3 of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone.
Okay, wait a minute.
Away from me because I need.
Wait a minute. Okay, in the first interview, she says when he comes, he sleeps upstairs in the bedroom. I think she just said most part Stephen sleeps upstairs and Maddie sleeps with me in the bed. And then we know that she doesn't though, because she has a fit about her kicking her. I'm going to replay that real quick.
Arts and crafts, all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
What do you mean?
Like I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the games.
Oh,
I'll be
okay. I
a
see.
And that's a weird term, and the detectives picked up on that too. I'm a watcher. Like, that is a weird way to say that.
You're
part of
saying.
it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Haley Sisby.
Do they ever go off on their own? Like you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
It's for the most part, it's the three of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep on a couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
Okay.
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room, sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
They're redacting Maddie, so I think she just said Maddie would sleep with her downstairs. I mean, and I would say that Maddie doesn't, though, because you talk about how she kicks and stuff, but she did say that Maddie always had to sleep with somebody, so maybe she did let Maddie sleep with her, and she's referencing a good night's sleep because that's when Maddie wouldn't sleep with her because Maddie kicks and she needed, quote unquote, a good night's sleep, so she sent him upstairs. I have questions about that, though. Hey, Norma, if you guys don't mind, please hit the thumbs up so I can get into the algorithm. Thank you so much.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all three of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone, away from me, because I need a good night's sleep. Because if we sleep all the three of us together,
Oh, I can only imagine.
it's a king bed, but it's like she just
Well, she's not a small baby anymore.
no, she's not. So it's just three humans on a bed is really uncomfortable, really tight.
About how often was they would go? You would send them off on their own.
I would say
It takes so long to answer.
I would say honestly, somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
Now, I have a theory that she didn't even see Maddie that Sunday night when she got in because Stefan had already taken her upstairs and went to bed. And I think it was normal in their household for Stefan and Maddie to sleep together in the bedroom upstairs when he was there. I think it was normal for them to go to bed upstairs and Jen to sleep downstairs by herself in her room. That's just my theory, and I am allegedly speculating on that. Yes, Gina, she says rarely ever would she send them upstairs. I think that's a lie. I think they were always upstairs. I think it was normal for them to sleep in the bed together because I think it was normal for them to do what they were doing because of the way she consoles him in the interview for the news and the way she says, I sent them to bed. I sent the kids to bed. Inspector BS is sniffing out the bull crap. He is on overtime work today.
That's
It
fine.
hasn't been that.
And this
many
is over the
times.
course of him visiting back and forth, correct?
You mean the sleeping arrangements
Yeah.
down alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
hardly ever would I send them upstairs because I had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just
Right.
very,
And then you said,
Let me pull the captions, Miss Jim Morrison. I'll go ahead and do that.
so you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
Hey, Abellis. Hey, Corrine.
I would say that's Stefan's.
Is that Stefan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
So
Let me grab.
you and Stefan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're
If I recall correctly from reading the murder indictment, that picture showed Stefan's hand on a butt. But she obviously couldn't tell whose butt it was. All butts look the same. I know what the CSAM picture is of, but I think that one was Stefan's hand on a butt. And she says, I think that's Stefan's hand.
aware of what like his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Does this look like Stefan's penis to you?
No.
No. Okay. What about that?
See, she breathes out hard like she knows that they know. That's weird to me. And they would have showed her a picture of a different a different member so they could make sure she was accurately describing Stefan's member and not just a member. So I think that one where she said it doesn't look like his really wasn't his. They would have then hit her with a picture of his, and that's why she's breathing out hard like that.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that's his penis?
Might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I know, Sarah.
we have these images, and unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys?
We have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone. We were able to get into his phone. And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures of him conducting various sexual acts with. I wish I could tell you this was all a made up story, but it's not. Did you ever suspect anything like this? No? You okay? Okay. Can I get you anything?
Maybe some water.
Some water? Just have it if you want to. Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with the reaction, but she could technically be in shock right now. You want to come in or not?
How are you feeling right now?
Okay.
Is this a surprise?
Is there photos of her?
What if the cops have to ask, is this a surprise? Like, I would say your reaction is not normal. Yeah, Inspector BS doesn't believe her. What are we at? 908?
Surprise?
Is there photos of her?
Mm-hmm.
She said she tried to make
Yes.
herself stutter a little bit, and she said, is there photos of her? And he said, mm-hmm.
So you know how we have his phone? Obviously, that's how we were able to find the photos in there.
I think so.
I don't want to believe that this is true. Can I see some of that evidence?
She said,
What
I know this is going to be strange, but can I see some of the evidence?
makes you believe that it's not?
I thought I knew him well enough.
I thought I knew him well enough. Corianne said, she may have successfully deleted the photos with her in it. And while that's a possibility, I don't think so, because I think if she could have deleted the photos with her in it, she also could have deleted the photos of Stefan with Maddie. You think so, Alex? Alex said, can I see some of the evidence? She's afraid she's in the pics. You think so? It's possible, for sure. She wants detectives to believe she's not convinced, meaning she doesn't believe nor trust law enforcement. Yeah, that's what she's trying to play it off as. And is that accurate? Like, is that really like what she felt like? I don't believe law enforcement. I need to see it for myself. That would be what I would think, right? Like, but does she, like Alex said, does she want to see to make sure she's not in the photos? But again, I would think if she thought she was in the photos, she would be concerned about getting arrested, but maybe she is. This woman is so jealous of her daughter. She's basically happy that she's deceased. I hope not. Lordy Jesus, I hope not. Hey, G14 Classified, thank you for being here. I would probably throw up, and then they're going to have to tase me, get the rubber bullets. Hell, you might need to get the shotgun, because I'm going after that mug, and I'm going to fuck him up. Tell you that much. Sorry for cussing. Hey, Donna. Thank you for being here.
You said you thought you knew him well enough?
So our goal, we want to find her. Can you think of anything of where Stefan would take her? Did they have any special hangout spots? Did they have any places that they would do together while you were at work or you had other things going on in your life?
Aw.
The only place they would go is hang out at home. There's no place I can think of that they've gone outside. I mean, they've gone shopping to like Target before.
Okay.
She said the only thing I can think of is the only place we hang out is at home. There's no place I can think of that they've gone. The only place they've done together like is gone shopping at Target before.
But anywhere else that you can think of? What are you thinking about right now?
How this can be true? How I missed the signs?
What signs are you saying you missed?
No, like I'm just saying, if there were any signs, I didn't see any.
Right. Like these aren't. I'm not telling you like these aren't just Google images that we found. Like these are actual images, and I don't want you to. I don't. But this investigation has taken us down this road. So wherever you think right now, we want to know so we can go get her safely.
Of course, I just have no idea.
Did Stefan ever take her back down to Newport Richie?
Newport, Florida.
Newport, Florida. I'm sorry.
Alone, no.
Alone? You guys would go together?
Yeah. Or I would drive down. Just hang out.
Okay. So when Stefan would not stay at the house with you guys, where else would he stay?
In his apartment in his house in Northport, Florida. That's it.
But when he would visit here, he would always stay in your house. He would never go get a hotel or stay at a friend's house or anything like that.
No, just yeah.
Okay. Why did he go to Newport, Florida this morning?
This morning?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I heard a rumor that he possibly went down there.
No.
I don't know. Them is maybe lost in translation.
No, he didn't. We were in the hotel. If anything, he stepped out to go get some Wawa.
Okay.
And then came back.
About how long was he gone for?
Um,
Does he have a new phone since we have his, or?
I think his dad may have handed him a new phone.
Okay. Do you know the phone number to that new phone?
No.
Okay. What's his dad do?
Works in real estate. I think he's a broker.
So they're trying to find Maddie's body. I'm not hearing anything much about the timeline. This is just about the horrible pictures. But I'm still listening. And I'm also looking through my files to try to figure out what the pictures are of, because they're here somewhere. And I'm looking at a narrative right now. Miss Morrison said there's just too many coincidences, like telling Maddie's dad she was scared that a predator would take a picture of Maddie on the plane while in the bathroom from under the door. Same thing Stefan did. Yeah, and I think that's weird. The thing we figured out about that is that while it's either going to be Jen knew about what Stefan was doing under the door, or them being in a relationship. Stefan said to her, "Man, I hope that nobody takes a picture of Maddie under the door. You know, people do that. Creeps do that." So I can't say for sure on that one. Miss King, if anything, said, "I do think she's telling the truth about him not going anywhere. He did not go anywhere or do anything. He was abusing her in the condo." Yeah, and a lot of people are like, I want to know where the phone was when the abuse was going on, where Jen's phone was. And I think it was definitely in the residence while Jen was there. Because, I mean, she wouldn't have been anywhere else. She would have been in the condo. I would like to know where her phone was at in the condo when the abuse was happening. I would assume in her room, but she could have been in Stefan's room too, like with them. I don't know. I would love to know that information as well. Those detectives absolutely think she knows where Maddie is. The reason they think that, we don't know everything, but they do. Right, Darlene? They absolutely do. No matter what you thought, you should be furious that was done to your daughter. I don't sense any anger. I don't either at all. You used to have a colleague who spoke like Jen and never got answers to anything. She doesn't answer anything, like, ever.
So look, we just need any information. Any.
No, I know, but there's nothing I can give you. There's nothing I can.
Did you communicate with Stefan on the new phone with your phone?
Okay, hold on a minute. Right here, I've got the narratives that's talking about this interview. It states Orange County detectives have previously shown, it's redacted, I assume, Jen, photographs of Stefan's penis for identification purposes. Jen did not want to believe Maddie and Stefan were engaged in sexual activity. Jen asked to see the image of Stefan and Maddie. I pulled out a printed picture from Stefan's Google Drive that showed Maddie with Stefan's penis in her mouth. Jen said she didn't recognize anything in the picture, as if she was in denial. However, she became visibly upset. I asked additional questions unrelated to this particular case. I excused myself and told her I was going to speak with Stefan. And then it goes into Stefan's interview. At one point, one of these said that she was shown a picture of Stefan's penis by a butt. But I don't see it in that. That's the one that tells us what the picture is of in this interview. And then it goes into the interview with Stefan. Okay. Real quick, I got 3. Gina Marie said, what? Oh my goodness, let me see him now. I need to find my daughter. I can't believe this. Equals innocent reaction. Nothing like that from Jen ever. Boomer said they identified via the pics that was in the condo by seeing Maddie's blankets and sheets. Yep, they did. They absolutely did. Bad Girl said Maddie may have been a child, but she still was everything Jen is not. Yeah, I agree with that too. And then Miss Jim Morrison said, mothers know when other mothers are full of BS. This is just so obvious. It's a disgrace that she's not arrested. Veronica, the big silence, and taking so long to answer, lower voice could barely be heard, laughing at times, disgusting. She does lower her voice when I think she's lying. Hey, Dusty Pear, Jennifer Soto failed to protect her daughter and invited a pervert into her child's bed. Lock her up already. Thank you for being here, Dusty Pear. Okay, I need to mark this page.
I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual.
Are you sure you want to see that?
I didn't think
I'll
that's
go get
weird.
it. Are you sure you want to see that?
It's a weird reaction.
Take my word of advice. I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images, but I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
She has a penis in her mouth.
Okay, that's weird. You say he says, are you sure you want to see the photos? And she says not, can you tell me what's she doesn't say, yeah, I need to see the photos to verify, not trying to offend you, but just to verify that it's actually her in the photos. She says what's being done in the photos, which is weird because if you want to see the photos to verify that it's actually Madeline and Stefan, then what does it matter is being done in the photos? Why would you ask what's being done in the photos? Unless you knew that they had some kind of relationship going on and maybe you told, allegedly speculating, maybe she knew about some kind of relationship they had and she thought that they weren't active or weren't doing certain things while being sexually active. And I went down this road before for some other reason. And she's like, what's being done in the photos? Because basically in her mind, I told them that they could mess around, but they couldn't go all the way or something like that. That's just a speculation. Just please understand that's a speculation. Hey, Karen. For me, they did it together. Jen lost it by the pregnancy test. That very alone girl was thinking that this having that with that dude was love. So basically, yeah, I think that Jen was alone, and with the Woody Allen comment, I think she allowed them to be together in hopes that they would both stay in her life with Jen and not leave Jen alone. Because I think at the end of the day, Jen just didn't want to be alone. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, thank you for being here, Dusty Pear. I hope you get warm. I love wood stoves. Unless they had an agreement of what he could and couldn't do to Maddie. That's still not right, though. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Because why would you ask this? Why would you ask specifically what's it? She's like, can I see the photos? I'm going to back it up a little bit. Can I see the photos? And then they're like, are you sure you want to see that? And instead of saying, yeah, I want to see it because no offense, I want to validate that it's Stefan and Maddie. She says, what are they doing in the photos? Why is that important? If you're trying to validate that it's Maddie and Stefan.
I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual.
Are you sure you want to see that? I'll go get it. Are you sure you want to see that? Take my word of advice. I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images, but I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
I think he's put aback by the question because he pauses for a minute and is like, again, why does it matter what's being done in the photos? But she says, can you tell me what's being done in the photos? Miss Jim Morrison said, and imagine after this, she tells him to get a lawyer. And what's more important to me, yeah, that's fucked up. That tells me that you knew something was going on. But what's more important to me is that they only had taken Stefan's phone and she's already talking to her ex, Steven, to try to get him a lawyer. Why do you think he needs a lawyer at that point in time if they've just taken his phone? Like, why wouldn't it be they're going to search through his phone? They're going to realize he didn't have anything to do with it and give the phone back. Why are you already trying to get him a lawyer?
She has a penis in her mouth. And that picture that you said that the stuff identified that Stefan's penis around her, I zoomed in on that photo because in that picture, it's in her mouth.
Right, Alex, possible. Maybe, Sarah.
Do you need any more water? Are you okay?
I literally thought I was coming here for the press conference, but this is not what we're here for.
I know. And it's unfortunate that,
Who gives a shit about the press conference when you were just hit with that images of your child? Anders said she would never have come up with the Woody Allen comment if she didn't know. I'm with you. I think that comment told me a lot. I'm trying to find that interview. If that was me, I would be distraught and inconsolable. She's not even fazed by any of this. It makes me so mad. It makes me mad too. I got to find that interview with the Woody Allen comment. That's the one I'm looking for to get another timeline.
These are the details that we found, but I think it's very important now that we kind of sit back, evaluate everything, and kind of think every step of the way where Stefan has been in the past, where he can be right now, because at the end of the day, we want to go get her.
Yeah, of course. It's just if I knew anything, I would tell you. I just have no fucking idea where you could be.
So I know that.
Could be.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Or any idea where she could be. I said they, but
yeah,
he's here. Dude, was there any the video footage that was caught at the church? What exactly was seen? I've heard from other people, but I just.
Do you know much?
It looked like someone that walked by, but it's inconclusive. Right right? It was too grainy. The video was not. You couldn't determine who it was in the video, pretty much. So we don't know that she walked by that church. So the last person, Stefan.
Yeah. So we want to know because he's the last person to see her. He claims to have dropped her off at this church before school. Unfortunately,
close to the church.
We're close to the church. You know, unfortunately, we know she doesn't go to school that day. You try and go pick her up. Would it, after Stefan dropped her off, did he come back?
I'm looking, and it's got to be either in the one where she's informed that Madeline is most likely deceased, or police discuss what they took from the apartment. Jenny Jim probably knows. I'm sure she'll tell me. I'm praying she's charged and arrested too. Real quick. Miss Jim Morrison said the abuse happened in her bed while she was in it. She wasn't prescribed Ambien. That would render you unconscious. She's taking Xanax. She would wake up. It's a possibility. Veronica said, Jen's mom sure got him for her. I'm truly disappointed in all the Potato family at this point. Where's the freaking justice for Maddie? Did they not care about her either? Question it. Hey, Jules. Jules says she's a poor excuse for a woman, mother, and human. She's known the whole time, in my opinion. That's why she fought with Maddie. Jealousy. It's a possibility.
Come back home?
Hey, Corinne.
About how long was he gone for during drop-off?
Okay.
I want to say from 8:30 to like 10:15 because around 10:15 or 10:20 is when I got a phone call stating that he got home. He had gone to the vape shop, but I don't know if they weren't open or not yet. So he left.
Okay.
And then hung out around the house. Waited till I got back for my doctor's appointment.
So he came back home.
Yeah, he did come back home.
Okay.
Okay, now I don't know if it's relevant, but in the first interview, she says he calls at 10:18 to say they didn't get McDonald's and the vape shop was closed. She doesn't mention McDonald's in this one, but she does say 10:15 to 10:20 called and said vape shop was closed. So I'm writing that down. Y'all, we're going to have accurate timeline. We're going to get this. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure out if she admits to knowing stuff before she's supposed to know it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
he grabbed his phone and called me from the house at that point.
Right, Edith?
He had let me know that he accidentally left his phone. He was waiting for the vape store to open, but he never opened, or something like that. And then he went back home.
Hey, Malibu.
Just to give it time, and then he went back out later.
Okay. So from 8:30 to 10:15, that's when he's saying that a vape shop was closed and he came back home?
I think so. Something. I mean, I know he was killing time. He does this. He'll just like to aimlessly drive around to kill time. I believe him when he says that he was killing time. Or at least I did believe him.
Or at least I did believe him. It concerns me to hear that he would just drive around like that. Like if it was actually normal for him, when I take into consideration the picture that we saw with the spanking the monkey cream in the book bag. Like, why is that in the book bag? Like, again, it could have been to go visit the dump site, but I'm thinking like maybe it was normal for him to have that kind of, it was called Solo cream in an orange yellow bottle. Like, it concerns me when somebody has that with them, like on their person, like, you know what I mean? Like in a book bag you're carrying around. What were you doing with that you needed it in your book bag? Like, are you taking your book bag with you every time you leave the house? That's just concerning to me. When someone says, I would say the answer to the question is deceitfulness. Carla with a K and K ran away. I like that. That is cute. Veronica said, if Jen was my daughter, I would tell her the truth and we'll deal with the consequences, whatever they might be. That's what raising a daughter is. No, that's why she's so delusional. Yep. So it's Solo, like SOLOW cream, Shaboogies. And welcome. Thank you for being here. In a later interview, Jen is reciting Steppen's story, and the detective interrupts her and tells her he doesn't care about Steppenstern's lies. We need to find that one. We're going to keep going through them. We'll find them.
What's like usually, how long does it take to go do her drop off and come back?
Like 45 minutes,
Okay. So
45, 50 minutes.
So give or take an hour.
Yeah.
So he should have been back home by like 9:30ish.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's like 45 minutes to 30 minutes of a gap in time there.
Yeah.
Where could he have gone?
He says he was driving around aimlessly, just killing time.
Okay. So then he comes home, let's just say around 10:15 is what you're saying.
Let's see.
What time did you get home from your doctor's appointment?
I'm gonna say somewhere between 11 and 11:20.
And then did he leave again?
Yes.
How do you know he was home? Because you got the call.
Because I got the call and I think I saw him when I got home.
Okay. And then what time did he leave again to go to the vape shop?
I think it might be in the one where they discuss what they took from the house, and we're going to jump into that one next.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what time he left.
And then
Oh, actually, hold on, let me think.
do you guys have a ring at your house? A ring doorbell? Do you have any video doorbell system? Do you have any cameras in the house?
No.
Remember, I worry about that.
Say gonna say he left around somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, because I remember looking at the time going, I don't think he's gonna be done in time running his errands to be back by 2:30 when I need to leave to go.
Okay, he left at 12, between 12 and 1, 12:30, 1 o'clock. Hold on. Let me write that down. Okay. Darlene said the cream was in his book bag. I thought it was in the room number 4 on the table by the bed. It was on his book bag was in room number 4 on the table. And now think about when they said forensics is coming in and they pulled them out of the house. Stephen was at the house. Jen was at the house. So his book bag that he carries with him around would be on the table in the room or whatever. If that's where he keeps his crap. He would have come in and put the book bag on the table, and it was in the cream. The cream was in the book bag, which was on the table in room number 4. And like, think about setting your purse down. If you set it down in your room, like you would walk in, set your purse down on the table in your room, and then the police come and say, hey, we're taking over. We're having forensics come in and search. And, so you would, your purse would be left there on the table beside your bed. You know what I mean? Ambien is dangerous. I took it once and was like, yeah, I'm not doing that no more. Edith, thank you so much for gifting a membership. That's super sweet and supportive of you. If you were gifted a membership from Edith, please tell her thank you. Thank you so much for that, Edith. That was super sweet.
Okay.
And he said he ran his errands. He stopped at a few comic shops or game stores or something like that. Then he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. He doesn't remember exactly where.
So he admits that the flat tire was on 192 there. Okay.
I remember him telling me he hurt himself changing the spare tire.
How did he hurt himself?
Something slipped while he was doing something with what's the crank that pops up that brings
the lift or
yeah
yeah
you know what I'm talking about.
The jack.
Something slipped and his finger got caught between the frame and the jack, I think. So
Okay.
he had to pull out his finger.
Hey,
So
Sabrosa.
he's got a band-aid on his finger right now because of that.
So what time do you leave the house to go?
2:30.
2:30.
Okay, she leaves at 2:30.
It takes me about 20 minutes to get to school, and then I wait about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, for the car line and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like to be the first in line.
So at what point did you think something's up?
Around 4:10, when she did not come out of school, and I was the first in line. I was holding up the line. I'm the first in line, and there's cars behind me, and they already have their kids.
Right.
So when I noticed she had not come out, I drove away thinking, maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up from school today because I have a new work schedule.
Mhm.
So
What do you do for work again? I'm sorry.
I work at Walt Disney.
So that again is weird to me. Hey, Super. Why didn't you go into the school to see if she was still in the school or locate her? Because a normal person would have went into the school and to see if she was there, to see if you saw her somewhere, to see if they could call her to the office. But no, she drives away and goes to her mom's office to see if she walked there. No, you didn't ban yourself, Hio. I can see you. I'm sorry. I had been looking away if I missed some of your comments. I don't see any from recently before, so maybe it was booting your comments. Hey, Bogart. I'm scrolling up. I don't see anything, so I saw those two, but not the other ones. Sarah says bye in time.
Disney World, front desk concierge at Coronado Springs.
Okay.
I just recently, that's the biggest reason I even called Stefan was to come help me this week with her getting her to school.
Hey, Mary.
Helping with the dog. That's the whole reason I even called him was to come help me.
And what car did he come up in from down there
in his dad's Cadillac.
So why is the Buick at the
So
house?
you kind of get some concerns when she's not coming out.
So if he came up in Dad's Lincoln, why is the Buick at the house? When she says he drives that Buick.
Not coming out, so I drove off along the same path she would have walked. I didn't see her. Did you hear yet? She goes, no. And I said, oh, maybe I missed her. Maybe.
Does she
still...
sometimes walk home from school?
Yeah, she does.
To, and then you pick her up from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
She didn't make it. So I drove back to. I think at this point I had called her best friend to ask because I went to pick her up from school and I didn't see her.
Right.
And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period.
Okay.
And I was like, can you please check with the other friends to see if she made it to her other periods?
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point I emailed her teacher.
Right.
Right, guys. You're
Gotcha.
all right.
I don't believe so now.
Okay. She just has the Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. So, office, you realize she's not there either. Is this when you go home?
No, I go back to the school to go. So I drive the path again to see if I missed
Sweet
her.
Melissa.
And then I go back to the school to check their attendance because her friends are telling me she never made it. But when I got to the school was already closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove back. I think at this point I had gotten a response from one of her teachers telling me she never made it to my period, and then he checked.
And the response from him was at 5:53. So at 4:10, she drives to Grandma's office. Instead of going into the office at the school to see if she's still there, they go back. When she gets back, what, an hour later? Like 5:36, the school is closed, but by this time she got a response from the third period teacher saying, hey, Miss Soto, after checking, she was absent. Pretty alarming. Please keep me informed. And he responded at 5:53. So it's been an almost 2 hours later. And all she says she did was drive to Grandma's office, call Bestie, and then come back to the school. And that took 2 hours?
The attendance for the rest of the day. She never made it to any of the periods.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is when I start to panic and freak out because I know something is wrong. Sorry, I just thought about that image.
It's okay. Take your time.
I think that is said in one of the interviews.
What was
we need to go
Stephanie's
back.
reaction when you?
I called him and I said, she never made it to school. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she got dropped off. I was like, you dropped her off? She never made it to school.
Mm-hmm.
I said, please come to the office right now. He goes, okay, I'm heading there right now. So he hauled ass came to the office.
And you're driving your car and he was driving his car?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it to the office, and then we where she might be.
So yeah, she does push the kidnapped narrative pretty hard. She said in the first interview, based on how tight-knit we all are, I don't think she would run away. I feel like she was taken on the short walk from where she was dropped off to the school. It was early morning, not many cars around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's odd to me that she had Stefan drive immediately to grandma's office instead of staying at the house to see if she came there. Like, these things are odd. She didn't go into school to see if Maddie was in the bathroom, a little late coming out, talking to her friends. No, 10 minutes after she didn't come out, you go immediately to grandma's office, see if she's there, drive the area around there to see if she's walking, come back to the school. But by the time you get back, school's already closed and you've gotten an email from the teacher and it's 5:53 p.m. What?
Sitting there pretty upset, pretty distraught, just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were missing, also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park. So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took a report.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 7:30.
So Shabugi, she said that she went to the school, and by this time the teacher had replied back, and the teacher said he replied at 5:53. Miss Soto, after checking she was absent, pretty alarming. He messages her back at 6:20, which is 30 minutes later. And Jen says, and he asked her, did she make it home yet? Jen says, no, not yet. We're still waiting on police. So she called police, I'm assuming pretty much after she got the email from the teacher, which was 5:53, and then 6:20, she's still waiting on the police. But what happened between 4:10 and 5:53? Because what she's saying is all she did was go to mom's office directly at 4:10, or right after 4:10 when she didn't come out, and then comes back, the school's closed, and the teacher has replied, and it's 5:53 when the teacher replies. By the way, I tried Ambien. It scared me to death. I was sleepwalking using the oven to make pizza. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I don't like that stuff either. Do they have any video of her at school or driving to school? Good question, Meemaw. I would think they do. Oh, hey, Mayla's mom. Thank you for being here. The family keeps their distance from Stefan and looks to be giving him the evil eye. They do. 2.5 hours after she's missing, and she doesn't check her house. Right. She asked Stefan to immediately come to grandma's office instead of staying at the house in case she arrives there. I can't.
Monday night.
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been
Hey, JPL.
absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever?
Stefan's been absolutely a mess since then, is what she said. Sorry, I was talking. I'm coming in real late, but I believe that when Jen said she's a watcher, they'd play games. I think she's really a voyeur and could have been watching them. It's possible. I question it. Thank you for being here.
Okay. Understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case. I don't think
It's been going on. It's been going on.
Wait a minute. That doesn't even make sense. I believe you when you tell me those images are... Y'all. Holy shit. She just said, I believe you when it comes to those images. I believe that that's been happening, but I don't believe they're related to this case. Did she just admit to knowing about CSAM and saying, I don't believe they're related to this case as in the murder? Or Maddie? Because, I mean, she wouldn't say, I believe you about those images and they're real, but I don't believe they're related to this case in reference to Maddie. Like, you believe the images are real of Stefan and Maddie, but you don't believe they're related to the homicide case? We're going to listen to that again. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on just a minute. Let's listen intently.
Pretty distraught. Just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were missing, also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park.
So I know she admits and says that the CSAM is fine in the interview after this, but this was before that. She shouldn't have admitted. I mean, she didn't. I think the first time she actually admitted the CSAM was fine was in the interview that's after this, not at this point in the interview that happened the day before. Hey, Rosemary, thank you for being here. Let's listen intently.
So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took a report. That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night.
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would. No.
Okay. Understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case.
Yep.
I don't think.
It's been going on.
Okay, she said, I believe you when you talk to me about those images. I believe those images are real of Stefan and Maddie, but I don't think it's related to this case. And then he hits her with, it's been going on since 2020. She literally just admitted, so she admitted to the CSAM being okay before the other interview. She's telling them right here that she believes the CSAM images of Stefan and Maddie, but that they're not related to the homicide case. We're at 25:52. I'm going to take it to 25:38, and we're going to hear that one more time. Oh, hold on. 25:09.
He took a report. That was about 7:30, I think.
Holy
Monday
shit.
night.
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would. No.
Okay. Understand.
Like
Okay.
I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Those images might be real, or they've happened,
Those images might be real or they've happened,
but I don't believe they're related to this case.
but I don't believe they're related to this case.
I don't think.
It's been going on. It's been going on.
But I don't think they're related to this case. The murder, or let me say, by this time she was saying that she was missing, so she doesn't know that Madeline's deceased yet. But she just said, I believe those images are real, but I don't think it's related to this case, the disappearance of Madeline. And then I think about Stefan saying, you know, I loved Maddie. I would have never wanted to hurt her or anything bad to happen to her. I'm paraphrasing, but what's in the jail call that he says? I would have never hurt her. And so again, Jen knew about the CSAM, but not necessarily about the homicide, because she just admitted it. Hey, KR Cosmonaut, thank you for being here. No, ma'am.
Like, and I wish I could say, you know, it's not true. It's not. I mean, we have images. We have them. I looked at them. This goes all the way back to 2022. Some of those pictures.
Mary, not yet. She just got, they just showed her pictures of what Stefan was doing to Maddie. What, maybe 10 minutes ago? So for her to say, I believe those images, but I don't think it's related to this case, tells me that she knew what was going on already.
I understand it's a lot to take in right now. I can only imagine what you're going through, but we need to know literally everything. I mean, at the end of the day, like I've told you many, many times, the sheriff's office.
Okay, no. I know they told her already about the images. She asked to see the image so she knows that it's true. Because they're like, are you sure you want to see those images? Because they're graphic and it's hard to look at. Okay. I wrote down the timeline. Hold on. Why ask what's being done in photo if you want to see? Okay. She wants to see, she said she wanted to see pictures of what's going on in the photos because she wants to make sure they're actually of Madeline. Hold on. Oh, Lord. Okay, let me take it back. Dang it, I didn't write down the timestamp. Okay. They've just hit her with the CSAM photos, and she asked to see pictures because they said, actually, let me grab my paper. Okay. She stated she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety. She would ask them to sleep in a different bedroom. Orange County detectives had previously shown Jennifer pictures of Stefan's penis for identification purposes. Jen did not want to believe Maddie and Stefan were engaged in sexual activity. Jen asked to see the image of Stefan and Maddie. So right now, she's asked to see the image of Stefan and Maddie because she doesn't want to believe that they're engaged in sexual activity. It's 25:09 where she says what she just said. Let me take it back and see if we can hear that part. Hold on.
Can I get you anything?
25:09.
If you want to. Yeah.
Right here. Right before this. Okay. Okay, we're going to listen to this real quick. Okay.
I would say honestly, somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
That's
It
fine.
hasn't been that.
And this is over the course of him visiting back and forth,
Right now, she's talking about them sleeping in the bed.
correct?
Hey, Michelle.
You mean the sleeping arrangements
Yeah.
done alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
hardly ever would I send them upstairs because
Thank you,
I
Jenny.
had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just
Right.
very.
And then you said,
All right, listen to this part.
so you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
I would say it's Stefan's.
Is that Stefan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. So you and Stefan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're aware of what like his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Does this look like Stefan's penis to you?
No.
No. Okay. What about that?
Okay. So right now is when she's being shown pictures of Stefan's peen, okay? And if I don't remember where I saw it, but she hasn't been shown the picture of Stefan with his member in Maddie's mouth, okay? This is at 7 minutes and 12 seconds in the interview.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that's his penis?
Might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have these images And unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys?
We have photos.
Okay, so at 7:56, she's saying basically what makes you guys think that he's been touching or hurting Maddie in any type of way, and they say we have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone. We were able to get into his phone. And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures of him conducting various sexual acts with. I wish I could tell you this was all a made up story, but it's not. Did you ever suspect anything like this? No?
I mean, at 8:32, she's saying she never suspected anything like this. We know she's going to ask to see the picture. She wants to validate that it's Madeline, but she, for some reason, asked what's being done in the photo instead of asking if it's about them, okay? That's at 8:33 in the interview. Now we're going to go to 25:09 where we were at. Now listen to this. Or 21:09. Is it 21:09 or 25:09? I think it's 25:09. Let's take it to 24:36. Now listen to this.
And then we. Where she might be.
Mm-hmm.
We were both sitting there pretty upset, pretty distraught, just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were missing, also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park. So one of my family members went to the park
Hey,
to
Kendra.
speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took a report.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night.
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would. No.
Okay. Understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at 7:56, she doesn't believe the images to the point that she needs to see Madeline and Stefan in the images. She needs to see that picture herself at 7:56 to 8 something in the interview. Okay, and now we're at 25 minutes in. Have a good day at work, Jules. And she says, "I believe you when you talk to me about those images."
Those images might be real, or
those images might be real.
They've happened.
Or they've happened.
But I don't believe they're related to this case.
But I don't believe they're related to this case. Okay, so right there, she's admitting that, okay, let's say those images are real. They might be real. I'm going to, I think she's admitting to knowing about the CSAM. Those images might be real. They've happened, but I don't believe they're related to Madeline being missing, is what she's saying. Sorry if I missed y'all's comments. I was trying to show Zan this part real quick. Well, I'm not trying to call you out, Zan. I'm just trying to make sure we all understand it right, and I have it right as well. Miss Morrison said Maddie's phone was on her dresser in the makeshift bedroom. Why was she in there? It was on vibrate. I don't know. Right, Boomer? Rose Thorne, what a bizarre thing for her to say, Queen Oliver then said, right. Rose Thorne said, Jen can barely admit the pics might be real. She's forced herself to believe it because the pics are right there. But why would you think they're not related to this case? Like, why would you say those pictures might be real? They've happened, okay, but they're not related to this case. Like, that would tell me you knew about the pictures. You're saying they're real, but they're not related to. How do you know? How does she know they have nothing to do with Maddie being missing? Is kind of my question. Like, I can see what you're saying. She can barely admit the pics might be real. She's forced herself to believe it because the pics are right there. But the only thing she's been told them, but she's still asking to see the picture because she says she doesn't believe it's real. And we're going to hear later in the interview that she continues on asking to see the picture. But right here, They might be real. Hold on. Let me do it one more time. I'm not trying to bore y'all to death.
Onto a park. So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took a report. That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night.
Yeah.
And what's Stefan's kind of demeanor been since then?
Oh shit! Hold on.
Absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever?
I don't think he would.
Okay.
Hold on. I wanted to remove the comment so that you guys could see.
Understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Those images might be real.
Might
or
be real.
They've happened, but
Or they've happened.
I don't believe they're related to this case.
I don't believe they're related to
It's
this
been going
case.
on. It's been going on. And I wish I could say, it's not true. It's not. I mean, we have images. We have them. I looked
Hey,
at
Valley Babes.
This goes all the way back to 2022. Some of those pictures. I understand it's a lot to take in right now. I can only imagine what you're going through, but we need to know literally everything. At the end of the day, like I've told you many, many times, the sheriff's office main goal here, we want to find and bring her back home. That's what we want. But we need your help. We can only do so much. You're with her on a daily basis. You understand everything. But at the end of the day, we just need to know. Did he make any mention of going anywhere, taking her somewhere when he came into town? I know you said they like to play games together.
Not taking her or going anywhere. Sorry, y'all couldn't see it.
And prior to coming up Sunday, when's the last time he's been here?
I'm gonna say it's been over a month.
Has she ever made any comments to you about sex or anything like that? Being abused or anything like that? Hold on 1 second.
Dang, why did you stop right there?
Just 1 second.
1 second.
Okay. Oh my God, it let me access my live. Okay, they left out. All right, I have the interview where she mentions the Woody Allen comment. Do y'all want to jump to that one now, or do you want to finish this one out? I don't think so, because the interview with her in the room takes place after this one. Hey, Michelle, and hey, Sam. I didn't mean to leave you out when I was saying hey. Yeah, the vape shop and game stores. Mima said yes. Do y'all want to jump to the because we're trying to do the timeline. Like those things, I pointed those out, and that's interesting. We need to figure out this timeline, though. So I think we're going to come back to this one. Well, it goes, this is a 2-hour interview, and we went over this one not too long ago. Basically, they show her the picture of Madeline with a penis in her mouth, but it's not accurate. in the timeline that we're trying to figure out, because there's one that happens before this and we need to go through that one to see what she says. I'll keep playing it for now. This one's basically out of order. So do y'all want to do the one that comes next in order, where she's recalling that day, or do you want to keep doing this one? She emailed the teacher Monday, February 26th at 5:36.
So there might have been a little bit of miscommunication here, but a Kissimmee police officer detective is going to come speak to you about everything that we just talked about, okay? So they're going to come talk to you with an Orange County detective. So I don't want to go too much further into it with you because they're going to go a little bit deeper. They know a lot more than I do. Okay. So
okay, we're going to go do the one that comes next in order. I think it's the one that comes next, where they discuss what they took from the house. Oh, my lordy. Why did that happen? Oh, okay, goody. Yay, it didn't go all the way back. There's not much in this, the Jen rides to central operations. This one is one we haven't gone over. And I think it's next in order. We haven't talked about this one yet. So this will be a new one for us to talk about.
This interview is from February 29th, around 5 p.m. Jennifer is confronted about things she said in the Fox interview, among other things.
All right, the date is February 29th, 2024.
Hey,
Time
Kelly.
is 5:09 p.m. We are at 4012 Santa Maria Drive. In reference to case number 24001809. It's myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood, and Jennifer Soto. So, to give you a little bit of what's happening now, there's a few other additional pieces of evidence that we're collecting at the time. Okay. Some of that evidence came from Stefan's phone.
Hey, E.
Some of the pictures that were on the phone that we've identified belonging to Maddie as well. So clothing that she was wearing, that sort of stuff. Okay. That's what we're collecting.
Okay.
Okay. We will leave you an evidence sheet to let you know what we took. Everything that we've taken from the house is in an evidence sheet that's going to be left here for you. Okay. It may take them a little bit because what they do is they take a picture of it, they collect it, go to the next one, take a picture of it, collect it. So it'll be a little bit, but it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we spoke yesterday and we've got a little bit more information since the last time we spoke. Last night, I guess it would be. So I'm going to ask you to go through this again Monday morning when you were asleep. Stefan and Maddie were upstairs and she's going to school. Run me through that morning again. How, like you mentioned something about you hearing noises and then you woke up. So how exactly did that go down?
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stefan Stearns coming into my bedroom to try to put the leash on the dog. He was saying, "Here, puppy, let's go," and trying to leash him up. I got up off the bed at that moment because my dog has a tendency to pee a little bit when you're too direct and you put a leash on him. Mm-hmm. You have to talk to him nicely and yeah. He got the leash on the dog and told me, "Okay, don't worry about it. Just go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I went back to sleep. I think this was around, I'm assuming this was around 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm assuming.
Okay, Miss Jen Morrison says exactly, Kendra. The phone thing bothers me because Jen originally said she didn't do anything when she came home after the doctor. So why was she in Maddie's room? Did the alarm go off and wake her up? That's a good question. I need to find out where she was messing with the phone in Maddie's room. Hey, Cajun Juju. Sarah dropped the Discord link. I'm going to put my timelines in Discord where you guys can see it at some point over the next day or so. Then she said she was cleaning after the doctor's, and that's when she noticed the phone. Stefan said he saw Maddie looking in her book bag, likely for her phone. Yeah, but they figured out, like, because it was normal for her to look in her book bag for her phone, which we know it was a lie, but... Oh! You're right. Stefan told her that he saw Maddie rummaging through the book bag, looking for her phone. And then she finds it when she's cleaning up in Maddie's bedroom. But maybe she just thought that Maddie was looking for the phone and then didn't see it. Like, she didn't know it wasn't there until she looked for it. And then realized that, oh, well, Maddie left it at home. She thought she had it in her book bag. She was looking for it. I guess it's at home. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to keep going.
Oh, he's getting ready to take her to school. He's walking the dog before he does that. Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen. I don't know who it could be.
Hey, Janet.
But yeah, I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stefan. Could have been Maddie.
Okay.
Could have been one of my roommates.
When the deputies first talked to you, when you were reporting her missing,
yeah,
do you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement,
hey, Gemini,
you say you saw Maddie.
I saw. I know. I misremembered. I didn't see her.
Okay.
I wanted to believe I saw her, but I didn't.
But when you're talking to the deputy on his body cam, you describe what she's wearing.
Because she had picked it out the night before.
Okay.
I told her to set up her clothes the night before to have it ready, so she was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home. Do you remember that?
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know.
She said, I don't want her to come home hurt, to be fair. I think Jen is talking about her ass, talking out her ass about the dog story. Stefan never mentions it to detectives. Good point. Did Stefan Stearns use the dog as an excuse to really get Maddie's clothes or to put jeans on in the hoodie? I think he used it as an excuse to get Maddie's Crocs from Jen's room. I think he was able to get one, but then Jen woke up, so he appeared to be putting the leash on the dog instead of trying to grab the Crocs. But that's going with Jen didn't know. Did her alarm go off and Stefan turned it off and brought the phone downstairs and forgot it on the dresser, and he created that story? Oh, hey, Synth, I didn't even see you. And he created that story about how she forgot the phone. Possible. I'm going to play this. Let me know if you want to talk, Synth.
Oh, that's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know if you listened to it or if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it to see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because I remember calling, asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit more, go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stefan. Now, you said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off for a few years, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah.
During that time, was he seeing anybody else?
I was told at one point sometime last year that, hey, the girl I was hanging out with, one of my coworkers I was hanging out with outside of work, who I said I was hanging out with, I was really having sex with her. Because I asked him, like, did you have sex with her? Like, but you told me you were just hanging out. Did you have sex with her? And he admitted that he did. I think her name is Marielle, but I'm not sure what her last name would be.
Okay. Now, the relationship that you had with Stefan, you told me that you haven't had sex in a while.
Yeah.
When you guys were together.
Okay, I had the laptop with me, but I was out where I couldn't speak. Oh my gosh, Eek, thank you. Thank you so much for gifting 20 memberships. That was super sweet of you. Thank you for being so supportive. I'm going to play our clip real quick. If you were gifted a membership from Eek, please tell her thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eek. Thank you, Eek. That was super sweet. So in this interview, the cops are kind of done with her like lies, and they're trying to grill her a little bit. So this one's going to be interesting. Hey, Shaboogies.
Hey, quick question. I just wanted to hop on and say something really quick. Remember yesterday we were talking about that you thought Stephanie used the dog as an excuse to find the crock?
Yeah.
Okay. In this interview, the one we're listening to right now, when she recalls waking up with him to the dog, she's recalling him actively talking to the dog, like witnessing the dog.
Yep.
Meaning she saw him with the dog, like he wasn't pretending, he was actively doing it.
Yes. Okay,
Which means, right. So that means she's placing him at home when we know he is with her.
Yeah, because
so she's lying.
Yeah, because he's at the dumpster at 7:35 a.m.
Correct. That's it. What she just said confirms what she actually saw him doing with the dog. It wasn't just, he came in and said he needed help with the dog. It wasn't like that. He was with the dog.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So, yeah, we just caught her in a lie. I mean, she could have missed. Okay. I gotta be accurate and fair from all sides. She says around 8. In the first interview, she says between 7 and 8. So she could misremember the time.
But would he be back by 8? Trying to walk the dog, or 8, even 8:30 after he just ditched her body? Because we actually don't know how long it took after the dumpster.
I mean, I'm gonna look.
Yeah, look at that, and also when you get a chance, re-listen to how she describes the dog thing.
Okay, I'm gonna play that back, but I've got these papers. I've got where he's driving around, so I can see if he came back from walking the dog or if he just left after the dumpster. Hey, Angela. Perfect. And Official came in as well. Thank you for being here. All right, we're going to play that back and listen to that again while I locate the images where he's driving up and down the road. Let's take that back. Sorry. Okay.
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know if you listened to it or if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it to see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because that's why I remember asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit more, go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stefan. You said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off.
Let's go way back. Sorry.
That she was wearing, that sort of stuff. Okay. That's what we're collecting. Okay. We will leave you an evidence sheet to let you know what we took. Everything that we've taken from the house is in an evidence sheet that's going to be left here for you. Okay. It may take them a little bit because what they do is they take a picture of it, they collect it, go to the next one, take a picture of it, collect it. So it'll be a little bit, but it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we spoke yesterday, and we've got a little bit more information since the last time we spoke. Last night, I guess it would be.
I don't have in this stack of paper, 400 papers I've got. I don't think I have where he's driving around. I can pull it up and look on my computer and see if it's on there. But I think he leaves right after 7:35 at the dumpster. She describes him getting this stuff from the dog. We're going to listen to that. To be fair, like she says around 8, but she says that he woke her up between 7 and 8. So maybe she's misremembering and thinking 7 was actually 8 and he was there at like 7. I mean, but it appears, I'm giving a lot of grace with that. It appears more so that she was lying about that. Let's see.
So I'm going to ask you to go through this again Monday morning when you were asleep. Stefan and Maddie were upstairs and she's going to school. Run me through that morning again. How, like you mentioned something about you hearing noises and then you woke up. So how exactly did that go down?
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stephen Stearns coming into my bedroom to try to put the leash on the dog. He was saying, "Here, puppy, let's go," and trying to leash him up. I got up off the bed at that moment because my dog has a tendency to pee a little bit when you're too direct and you put a leash on him. You have to like talk to him nicely and yeah. He got the leash on the dog and told me, "Okay, don't worry about it. Just go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I went back to sleep. I think this was around, I'm assuming this was around 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm assuming, oh, he's getting ready to take her to school. He's walking the dog before he does that. Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen.
Okay, so she says she's assuming that it was at 8 o'clock. If it was at 7, would he have time to walk the dog if he was putting the leash on at 7 a.m. and bring the dog back and go to the dumpster by 7:35? I would say yes, if he already had Maddie's body in the car. But that's not.
But that's what
7
we're saying.
Yeah, 7 a.m. to 7:30 is not 7:35 when he's already driven to the dumpster. Is not enough time, in my opinion, for him to walk the dog and get her out of the house and in the car.
And was he just leaving Maddie in the car, just laying there for an hour? That would be smart.
No. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Okay, so the hour thing, what do you mean? Because what, I don't understand the hour thing. Explain that to me, because he leaves at 7:30.
Right.
Okay.
So we know he's at the dumpster at 7:35, right?
Right.
So if she witnesses him at 7, right? Say she gets it wrong and it was 7. That means
Right.
Maddie had to already be in the car. That means he would have put her in the car, who knows how earlier, 6 or something, in front of people? Like when there's people out in the morning?
Yeah, and at this point, she would have had to have been in the car because 7 to 7:35 is not enough time to walk the dog and put her in the car, and she was in the front seat, strapped, sitting up. So yeah, why is she sitting out in the car, just sitting there in the front seat? That doesn't make sense.
They wouldn't, and he wouldn't leave her in there, like obviously dead.
Right. Yep, you're right. So that's not making sense. It's not accurate. Thank you for helping me understand that. And yeah, I wrote that down. JP, thank you so much for the $10. JPL, I'm sorry, says, "I appreciate you. Being a mom can be tough sometimes. I always remember you get what you put into your relationship with your child. Love to the mods." That was really sweet of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that super sticker. And I love my mods too. They're awesome. You guys, I'm sorry if I'm missing some of your comments and stuff. That was really sweet of you, and I'm trying to get all your comments while making a timeline and trying to figure all this stuff out in my head as well. So I keep, like, the ones that are longer, I click on them because I think they're trying to tell, usually it's trying to explain something. So I'm trying to get everybody trying to explain something. I'm sorry if I missed some of your comments. Kendra said this is the same lady who her roommates could have woken her up after her car was hit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the roommate said they could not wake her up after her car was broken into. And she's jumping up like a spring daisy from him trying in her room not to wake her up. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Kathy says, question, I believe it was reported Maddie was found in white Crocs, or was it white socks? If one Croc was found in the dumpster and the other in Jen's room, how could she have had the Crocs on? It was white socks. The one Croc was in the dumpster and one was in Jen's room. Synth, I'm sorry if I missed you, Hunter. If I didn't mean to ignore you if you felt that way. Put on, if Maddie was deceased before getting dressed, Stephenstern would likely put on shorts. He obviously forgot her Crocs, so we know she was gone before leaving the house. I would think he would put on shorts, but for some reason she was in pants. So was she wearing them when she died? I don't know.
See, this is why we need the time of death, because then I'm also thinking, what if he didn't kill her till he put her in the car and was on his way to the dumpster? You know what I mean?
That's a possibility.
We need the time of death ASAP.
You know, I've heard that Gavin Fish might have it, so I'm going to look at his stuff and see if he might have the time of death. He had something from the autopsy I remember looking at a few months back. So I'm going to check that. Karen Sue, thank you for being here. He didn't walk the dog. He used that leash to hold Maddie up in the car. I saw pics of the leash in pics of Jen's car. So the pics of the leash in the car are in the Lincoln. There is a purple leash and a black leash, and one of them is in the front seat. I do think he used that leash to hold Maddie up in the front seat, but Dad says that it's used as the poodle ambulance. So it's possible that the leashes could have been in the car already because it's a poodle ambulance. You would think if you're putting a dog in the car and that's what the car is mainly used for, there would be leashes there already. And please understand, I don't think Jen is not, I think Jen is guilty 100%, and I think she needs to be charged. I'm just trying to figure out, can we make it to where shit doesn't make sense? And so far, this 7 a.m. and 7:35 description of the dog thing is really not making sense because it's really not enough time to do what needed to be done.
And someone named Karen just, I don't know if this is true, but they just said he didn't walk the dog. He used that leash to hold Maddie up in the car. I saw pics of the leash in her car, pics of Jen's car.
Yeah, I think they missed. They think it's Stefan's car. I think it was in Stefan's car. I don't think it was Jen's car. Okay. We're going to keep going. I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up. Okay. Synth, if you hear me and you come back, I'll let you back up. Just let me know. I didn't know that you were trying to ask me a question. You have to tell me, like, you have to be like, wait, like, stop, hold on a minute. And then I'll stop the video because otherwise I don't know that you're trying to say something. So, okay, Shaboogies. If you guys come up and you want to say something, like, you just tell me, hold on, wait a second, and I'll pause the video.
I don't know who it could be. But yeah, I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stefan, could have been Maddie, could have been one of my roommates.
When the deputies first talked to you, when you were reporting her missing,
yeah,
you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I know. I misremembered. I didn't see her. Okay. I wanted to believe I saw her, but I didn't.
But when you're talking to the deputy on his body cam, you describe what she's wearing.
Because she had picked it out the night before.
Okay.
I told her to set up her clothes the night before to have it.
So he's not even believing that. Could he have put pants on to cover injuries, especially if she was still alive? Jen keeps saying she didn't make it. Could he have been trying to go somewhere where she could recover in secret? I don't know. It's possible. Hey, Lee Daisy, thank you for being here. Says, I was just wondering that too. She got dressed and then it happened, but why would she be dressed so early? Maybe they planned to run away together, or Maddie thought something like that was the plan. That's a possibility. Maybe Stephenstern's Miss Jim Morrison said he would go look for her Croc in Jen's room and grab the leash while Maddie was waiting in the garage with the one Croc. It's possible if she's still alive in the morning. I don't think he walked the dog at all. Maybe he was using that as an excuse to find the other Croc. That's what I've been rolling with this whole time. But now I'm starting to wonder if Maddie was alive that morning and murdered that morning in between. I mean, I don't know. Timeline's not adding up. Jen putting no effort into forging a close relationship with her daughter. Otherwise, Maddie would have told Jen long ago. I also think about Stefan and Maddie in room 4. Interesting how many door locks. There is a lot of door locks in that room. And then lastly, real quick, Veronica said, I wanted to believe I saw her. Who says that when you are literally trying to locate your daughter? Exactly.
Have it ready, so she was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home. Do you remember that?
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know if you listened to it or
no,
if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it to see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because that's I remember recalling asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit more, go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stefan. Now, you said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off for a few years, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say Google it and like try to figure it out because I think he's fed up with her BS at this point in time too.
During that time, was he seeing anybody else?
I was told at one point sometime last year that, hey, the girl I was hanging out with, one of my coworkers I was hanging out with outside of work, who I said I was hanging out with, I was really having sex with her. Because I asked him, like, did you have sex with her? Like, because you told me you were just hanging.
Hey, Cray said, why does she sound as if she's not sure if she did a TV interview with the local news, not like she does it every day? She seems to be like that with so many things. Like, she doesn't recall accurately. Maybe he was trying to get her to explain why she said, I don't want you to come home hurt. He was. Hey, guilty of crime. Thank you for being here. Aw, yeah, the killer potato. Okay, Boomer said, since Stephen Stearns was handling Maddie's body and he was still wearing the beige pants, it could be why the dogs hit on Jen's car since he drove Jen's car the next morning. That's a possibility. They do commonly release body fluids. Thomas said, where's the proof that she was even in bed and sleeping that morning? Yeah, we'll never have proof of that.
Was hanging out. Did you have sex with her? And he admitted that he did. I think her name is Marielle, but I'm not sure what her last name would be.
Okay. Now, the relationship that you had with Stefan, you told me that you haven't had sex in a while.
Yeah.
When you guys were together and intimate with each other, is maybe a little uncomfortable, but something that we have to discuss is when you guys were intimate with each other, a lot of people call it vanilla sex.
This is the good interview where a lot is given. We get a lot of information from this one.
People call it, whatever kind of sex you want to call it.
Anna, you're right.
How would you describe you and Stefan when you guys were intimate?
Pretty vanilla. I would say just missionary and oral. But nothing more than that. Missionary.
Okay. Has he ever asked you to perform a certain way or anything that you think would be out of the ordinary?
He's
Hey, Ada.
I want to say he's joked around about wanting anal sex, and like, yeah, we should do that. We should try that. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, to me, his penis,
God, I can't stand this.
Average size, but
hey, Karen,
thick, and it hurts. So I don't want even normal sex hurt to me. So I just didn't want to do it anymore. Honestly,
I'm sorry we had to hear that. That's hard to hear. Hey, Karen, thank you for being here. Let me know if you got something you want to say. Rachel said, I don't think that Jen knows how to tell the truth or remember anything. She's been lying about everything for years. She has.
Okay. Nothing other than that you think would be out of the ordinary? Okay. All right. So he is on medication. You told me he's on medication for
Hey, Brenda.
insomnia. Can you say that right? Sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And then, I believe you said ADHD.
Yeah, and also anxiety meds, I think.
Anxiety. Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
He did have, I think, a vial of, I'm not sure if it was Viagra or Cialis, but one or the other. I know he was having a hard time getting an erection or being able to enjoy getting off. And he ended up figuring out we couldn't figure out, he went to the doctors, tried to figure out why he was having these issues. They told him it must be something mental because physically his body's fine, should be acting normal.
Okay.
But we found out it was a side effect due to the Adderall medication he was on. And he was.
Okay, so why, like you guys have said yesterday when we talked about this, why is he on Viagra or Cialis if they haven't been active in over a year? Karen, if you want to say something, let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. In my opinion, I think that he unalived her that night in the middle of the night, and he carried her out to the car because of the fact of him being seen on the cameras at the dumpster, putting her stuff in the dumpster, her backpack and stuff. So surely she was not. They did say in that press conference that they didn't think that she was alive in the car at the dumpster.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So my thing is, he might have been having a hard time doing his thing with Jen. But evidently he wasn't having a hard time doing his thing with Maddie.
Right. That goes, so that part right there.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking maybe Jen, he just wasn't attracted to Jen.
Right.
And they thought it was something to do with his medication, but he was attracted to Maddie, evidently.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, that's the problem with that. Now, he's on Viagra or Cialis, okay, and he has a vial of it because that's the medication he's on. But if Jen wasn't sexually active with him in over a year, why does she know he has why is he telling her he needs Viagra or Cialis, right? Like, is my question. That would point to me that she knew it wasn't for her.
Right. And also, if her and him hadn't had sex in months and months, why did she have 3 pregnancy tests in a bathroom?
Yep. That's another good question.
So
going back to what you first said, so you think that he committed the homicide that night and put Maddie in the car that night? Like, where do you think he would have put her? Because in the what?
I think he put her in the front seat and had her strapped in, and he went out and he put her book bag and whatever that other thing, laptop or whatever for school, in the dumpster on his way out because they had him on camera.
Right.
And then he came back in, but when they had that press conference, that very first one,
Mm-hmm.
they said that they believed that she was not alive on the way out to the dumpster. They thought she was already deceased. I remember that in the very first press conference.
Right.
So if she was already gone when he went out the very first time, then he would have had to have done it in the night and carried her out while everybody was asleep and put her in a car before he left that place, right?
Right. So you think that he did it you don't, okay, so what I'm getting at, you don't think he did it, like, carried her out, put her in the front seat, and then went to the dumpsters, like, all that morning while everybody in the house was still asleep? Like, because my thing is, like, if he did it at night and he's just leaving her strapped up in the front seat, that's going to be odd for anybody walking around in the neighborhood. You think nobody would have
Well,
seen her just...
Well, maybe not in the night, but like closer into the closer morning hours. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Right,
To where
right.
she
Okay.
wouldn't have been for that long. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody was asleep, and he could have taken her out there, and depending on where the car was parked, if there was any lights or anything, and if it was dark,
Yeah.
he could have just put her in the car and then went back into... I don't know. I just think he did it in that bed, in that makeshift, or in that number 4 room,
Mm-hmm.
and he carried her out and put her in the car, and she was already in the car when he got in the car to do whatever he did after that.
Right.
That's
Okay.
what
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I'm with you on that.
because I don't think he would have. I don't think she was alive when she was put in the car.
Right. I don't either.
And
And I'm wondering if Jen or he did it. That's where I'm at with it.
yeah, I really don't think. I think he's so struck on himself. I don't think he would cover for Jen.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think. I think he would have not. He would have done rolled on her by now if he wanted out of there. If they didn't have enough evidence and enough proof on him, I think that he would have already rolled on Jen and told that she did it, and he was taking the rap.
You think so?
Yep. Because he wasn't in Jen, he was into Maddie.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. I think
And
he
then,
wants to roll on Jen, but they haven't contacted him or tried to talk to him.
another thing I think is the motive is when Jen and him were giving them statements when they very first said she was missing to the news reporters there in the kitchen at the table.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that.
It's okay.
Was
I'm gonna
okay.
while you remember, I'm gonna read this real quick. Mary,
Okay.
thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate that. Mary said, in my opinion, I haven't jumped over the hurdle that everything is a lie. She's just repeating Stephenstern's lie to her until police proved him wrong and telling her she's proven she wasn't a good mother. Eyes wide shut. Yeah. Thank you for the $10. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Karen, sweetheart. Did you remember
That's
what you were trying to say?
no,
Okay.
my brain took a break right in the middle of that thought.
That's okay. It happens to me a lot.
Oh, I remember now. When they were at the table and she was doing that, talking to the news reporters there at the table, and she said that Maddie had told her and Stephen that she had a crush on a boy at school.
Uh-huh.
You remember that?
Yep.
I think that right there could have been a motive for him, because I think he was obsessed with her. And when she had an interest in a boy her own age, I don't think he could handle that. And
I don't either.
And I think he strangled her that night.
Yep. And
I have vision in my brain anyway.
yeah, it's got to be either that or that she was with child. At the end of the first interview, Jen said no boyfriend. She did recently tell Stephen she had a crush on a boy, and we saw text messages between them. Nothing seemed weird. So Stephen saw the text messages. So,
well, I just think Jen wanted Stephen, and Jen was jealous of Maddie. Then Maddie got a crush on a boy at school, and Stephen couldn't handle that.
Yep.
And possibly she had missed her period in, what was it, January or February? January?
Yeah, she didn't start when she usually did, but it's possible she started 2 weeks later. I don't know.
Yeah. And she could have been pregnant. I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever tell that or not. But anyway, that's as far as my little brain can go for right now. So I'll jump down and let y'all go on with it. And if I think of anything else, I'll pop back in.
Okay, sweetheart. Yeah, you can come up anytime. And I appreciate you. Thank you for coming up and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you. Okay.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Bazard. Thank you for being here. Hey to anybody else I haven't said hey to. Mary, thank you again for that. That was super sweet. Thank you, Karen, again. She's such a sweetheart.
He was not able to enjoy himself sexually once he got off Adderall for a while and was able to enjoy himself again. I think there was no need for the Cialis or anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Would he ever talk to you about what?
So here she says, once he got off the Adderall and was able to enjoy himself, there was no need for this Cialis. But again, it's like, why does your man have Viagra or Cialis if you haven't been intimate for a year and you claim you don't know that him and Maddie are together? But of course, he didn't need that for Maddie because his whole problem was mental, like the doctor stated. He was attracted to children, unfortunately.
What kind of porn he liked watching or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Have you ever, quote unquote, watched porn with him or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Karen, I'm gonna if you want to stay up here, that's fine. Just let me know because I know you said you wanted to jump down, and if you can't get down, I'll go ahead and remove you if you want. Or you're more than welcome to stay up. You just let me know. If you don't let me know, I'll bump you down.
All right, now Maddie, what medication did she take?
She was on.
So it's not going to tell us her medication.
So that, because she suffers from really bad GI issues, she's constantly constipated.
See, she's constantly constipated, and you just talked about how he had a kink of going in the back door. I mean, but again, to be fair, that could be a side effect from medication. I don't want to condemn her just because of that, but there's just a lot here that doesn't make sense. Bad girl, I don't know if that's a side effect for most men. I've never had it be an issue with anybody I was with, but they weren't attracted to young girls, so I don't know. They kept her pretty isolated for less chance of someone finding out what was happening to her, says Queen Olive, and I agree. It seems that she didn't go to the pool as much when Juan wasn't there. She didn't go out. She wasn't allowed to spend the night at friends' houses and things, and I think it was because they didn't want her to talk about what was going on in the house. Sarah, who's going to school for psychology, said psych meds do decrease ability to perform, but I truly feel the abnormalities of him having his paraphilia made it so he could need boner pills just to show arousal. Many people struggle with this. If Maddie was on stimulants, she should not be constipated. I didn't know that. I don't know. I don't know if you should be able to use the bathroom regularly on stimulants or not. I don't know.
What else? She had an asthma inhaler.
Now, from what I remember, they called poison control because Stefan gave Maddie THC pills that were gins that were purple. See, that's what I've heard. I don't want to talk about myself in this, but I used to live a very different lifestyle. And unfortunately, when I was, as I call it, lost, I found that the medications that I was taking that were not prescribed to me made me not use the restroom. And I don't want to get any more graphic than that. So I would think, and I wasn't taking stimulants, to be fair, but I would think that stimulants would make you have issues to use the bathroom, but I don't know.
I can't think of any other meds she was on.
Does she take that medicine to school with her?
The asthma medication, yes.
Of course,
goes to school, and the anxiety meds, we give it to her when she's at home.
How does she react to this medicine?
No.
Like, how does her body react?
Fine.
Okay.
No side effects. No, nothing weird.
Okay.
Veronica, that's an issue for me.
And she takes it in the morning or at night?
Or probably in the afternoon or evening time close to bed. We use it mostly for sleep aid.
Sub Rosa, it's in the interview about the CSAM stuff. It's later in the interview. When we get to that part, I'll finish playing that interview and you'll hear it where she talks about that.
Be given to her night. The asthma medication was used, and the GI medication was given.
Okay. And then medication that you take.
Me?
Yeah.
I take brand name for bipolar medication.
It's in the CSAM interview. I could have it wrong. I will find that and get that timestamp for you guys.
I take anxiety medication.
It's redacted.
I'm also prescribed I had gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago, so I'm vitamin deficient. So they give me some high doses of medications to keep my vitamins balanced. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So going back to the morning that Stefan takes her to school, you said you think it's around 8:00 when you physically see Stefan messing with the dog?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't see Maddie anywhere?
I don't.
Okay. When Maddie gets dressed for school, like now that I've seen the inside of the house, it looks like a majority of her clothes are in that little partitioned area in the living room.
Yeah.
Does she have clothes anywhere else? Like, where would she put clothes to wear to school the next day?
Okay. Where would she get dressed? She would get dressed in her bedroom, right there, that little nook in the living room. All her clothes are there. When she takes off her clothes, her dirty laundry hamper is typically in my bathroom downstairs, and she'll just dump it in the basket. But there is no basket there right now. She's been dumping everything on the floor. I think.
Oh gosh.
The basket is currently being used to clean clothes, So I just wanted to keep the clean clothes and the dirty clothes separated. So dirty clothes are on the floor right now. What's in the basket should be like half clean, half dirty clothes, I think.
Okay. Let's stop that right there. Clean clothes are in the basket. Half clean, half dirty. And dirty clothes are on the floor. We just saw yesterday that Stefan's boxers are on top of Maddie's clothes in the hamper. So that's weird. The fact that the hamper is in Maddie's room and Stefan's boxers are on top of the clothes in the hamper. Like they're on top of everything.
Okay. When you go to sleep, when you were sleeping that night, was your door open or shut?
It is left cracked open.
Cracked open. Okay. Would you see or hear Maddie going to get changed?
I would say yes, but if I weren't deep asleep, and I think I was deep asleep because I didn't hear anything until Stefan came and woke me up to try to get the dog.
Okay, so he woke you up to help with the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't hear tussling around or wrestling around in the kitchen that made you wake up to go help?
No. It was him. He came directly into my room and grabbed the dog, and I got up. I shot up to try to help him.
Again,
it was until later that...
Again, like y'all were saying, she shot up this one morning to help with the dog, but any other time she can't be bothered to wake up.
After that is when I heard rustling in the kitchen.
Okay. So he takes the dog out, took a potty or whatever it may be, and he comes back inside. Do you see him when he comes back inside?
Okay.
I don't remember.
How do you not remember?
Okay. Do you remember him leaving, saying bye to you or anything like that when he's taking Maddie to school?
I don't think so. I think at this point I was already back deep asleep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when he went to walk the dog and left, I fell right back asleep immediately.
Okay. Now you go back to sleep. You wake up because you have a doctor appointment to go get blood drawn or something like that.
Yeah.
And you told me your appointment was around 10 or something like that, 9, 10?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I think it was 10:15.
Angela.
Yes, it was at 10:15.
Okay. So you go to this appointment.
Angela said, dirty boxers still in hamper, but Stephen Stearns was washing what then that morning? Good question, because the roommate saw him washing clothes. Lee Daisy, thank you for being here, said, oh yeah, I watched the roommate interview. Now you just say that. Yeah. Clean and dirty clothes mixed. Right? I'm like, why are we mixing clean and dirty clothes there? Okay. You're good, Eat.
And on your way back, did you talk to Stefan on the phone at all?
I know I talked to him while I was in the parking lot waiting for my blood work to happen. I just don't recall if I called him on my way home as well.
How do you
it
not?
It would seem like I would do that, but I just can't 100% tell you if I did do that or not.
She doesn't recall if she called him after the 10:18 conversation they had about Maddie not wanting McDonald's, but you don't recall if you called him on the way home? Like the officer by this point has information that he's asking her specifically about. So he knows the answers to these questions.
Okay. At what time did you and him meet back up here?
So I got back from my blood work appointment anytime between, say, 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened this morning?
Hold on.
What did you say? What happened this morning?
Hey, Celeste, morning.
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the door super quickly.
Okay. I'm going to back that up because we got to write this down. The numbers on the doors just keep nagging me. I've only seen that in Ladies of the Night work. I also really want to know if the locks in Stephen Stern's rooms were in the other rooms too. It's common to have a lock from the oh my gosh, it just jumped up. A lock from the inside in rental room homes. Yeah, if you're renting a room, it's common to lock your door from the inside, I would think. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would lock it to keep people out. So that would be from the outside, maybe. I don't know. It's a good question. Did you ever watch behavioral analysis on her? It's very interesting. Behavior panelist does a good job with it. I haven't watched it. What I can judge from the one video we have, she's lying her ass off. But that's just me.
I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like,
okay, that's always been weird to me because I was always under the impression that Steppen made up the McDonald's story so he could cover for why he left so early, because he needed to get Maddie's body in the car so that nobody saw that morning. So therefore he would have had to have a reason to leave earlier so he could put her body in the car without anybody waking up and seeing. And now they're talking about that they discussed it the night before and saying maybe it'd be cool to have McDonald's on the day after your birthday, that Monday morning, which I guess is a possibility, but I mean, that would indicate premeditation. Because why? I mean, if it's not usual for you to leave that early to go get McDonald's, which was still super early to even to go get McDonald's, you're saying you planned it the night before and you both planned it together? Like, was she deceased the night before and you both said, and this is me allegedly speculating, you both said, well, we got to come up with a reason for you to have left so early because you got to get the body in the car with nobody seeing, so you're going to have to do that super early. So what reason can we say that you left super early that morning to take her to school? Oh, we can say she wanted McDonald's. Yeah, it works out because it's Monday morning right after her birthday. It would be a cool thing to do to say that we did in order for you to be able to get the body out that morning. I don't like that. Is super weird to me. That's super weird to me that you made these plans the night before to go to McDonald's when we know it was basically to get her body out of the house. Yeah, they stopped serving breakfast at 10:30, but she has to be at school by 9:40, so she still could have got breakfast that morning. Let's see, we're at 17:22. We're going to go back to 16:24, about 1 minute, and listen to that again.
I'll say 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened this morning?
What did you say? What happened this morning?
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the door super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea.
So is this a planned story? Is this part of the script? Did it really happen? Why are we planning on for a reason? Because, I mean, I'm sorry, but to me, that was the reason for leaving super early, was to get her body to the car without anybody seeing. So why are we coming up with this plan the night before? If she's still alive at that time, does that prove premeditation, that he knew he was going to need a reason for that? So they planned it the night before? Like, I'm confused right now. There's a chicken outside my window clucking. Okay.
They were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He
Hey,
told me he
against
had
all
left his
logic.
phone because I had. No, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did he talk to me about?
Yeah, we know it's a lie that she didn't want McDonald's, right? Because to me, the excuse for leaving so early was, again, to get her body out of the house. So why are we coming up with that plan the night before instead of that morning?
We sat in my room for a while, hung out.
The sound from Maddie, the rooster.
He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long. But I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update. And then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said,
okay, so in the interview with the cops, she says that he was sitting in the chair talking about, and she slips up and says, doing a factory reset. No, I'm in an update. And then here she's like, I told him to do the update, but he's like, oh my God, I just pushed a button and factory reset my phone. Like, again, this is making me think that she's more involved. These things are weird that she's saying. It could prove premeditation, or it could prove that they were taking her somewhere else due to pregnancy or injuries. Saying you went to McDonald's and she got sick would be her excuse for that day. For her excuse would excuse her from school that day and ones following it. Yeah, it's a possibility. This isn't making sense.
that was stupid. How'd you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention and I just clicked the button and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
See, the cop is catching on to her. She okay, let's listen. Did she slip in this one too?
We sat in my room for a while, hung out. He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long. But I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update. And then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said, that was stupid. How'd you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention and I just clicked the button and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
So this is the first time she slips up and said we were discussing resetting his phone, because she says it again in the interview where she's being filmed. So there's two slip ups where she says we discussed him resetting his phone.
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that odd?
Of course I find that fucking odd. That's suspicious as hell.
Have you ever reset any kind of phone?
Me? I have no idea how to do that now.
Okay. Have you ever had to do an update on a phone?
I think so. On these phones, yeah. Sometimes it will ask me to just continue on with the update. And do I remember it ever asking me to erase? No.
Got it. Okay.
But he's got a Samsung. I have Apple, so I don't know if there is a difference or not. So.
All right. Now that you mentioned phones, so Maddie had a phone.
Yeah.
And explain to me what her attachment is to her phone.
Her phone is
Hey, Sleepless.
her lifeline. That's how she talks to all of her friends. That's how she talks to any of us. She's constantly on video chat with her best friend, or talking to them, or playing video games with them. But she's on her phone pretty often. What exactly would you like to know about her phone?
So, at one point you told either a deputy or officer or detectives that sometimes she leaves her phone at home when she goes to school.
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say once every few weeks. It happens a lot. Like, for me, that's a lot.
So this is where she said she forgets it once every couple of weeks. It's like a lot, but the cops later tell her that no, ma'am, she never forgets her phone. We've checked the history. Darlene said, wouldn't you just destroy the phone and get another one? Doesn't make sense to rely on resetting it. Well, destroying it would be sus. Grish is awesome. I need to go see if he's got some more videos out.
She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later.
Yep.
Where I found her phone was on her dresser. So I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left.
So the phone was on the dresser. She says she assumed she put it there when she was getting ready. But we know that the phone was upstairs with Stefan. So Stefan placed it on the dresser, I'm assuming. I'm writing this down. But Stefan placed it on the dresser. Maybe he did that when he was supposedly getting the dog ready. I don't know.
But it was on the dresser in front of her TV. But for me, that's a normal thing for her to forget her phone.
Mm-hmm. Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay. Did you see him or her?
Again, I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock. Like, she's sending the kids to bed. She hardly has anything nice to say about her missing daughter. It's her only kid. Yeah, I agree.
Anytime after that other than in the morning? Or talk to them? Either via text or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stefan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom, or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically.
No, he could come up with an excuse, Darlene, but I don't know. Everything looks sus. I'm thinking they tried to reset it because they thought they could erase everything and not look suspicious. I can see you, Hio. Someone put you in timeout? They better not. I don't know how that would have happened. It wasn't me. I don't know how that would have happened, Hio. That's weird.
So we've respected her wishes, and he's been using my bathroom this whole time.
Okay. Were you supposed to work Monday?
No, I'm not.
Okay. What about Tuesday?
Off. Wednesday, I was supposed to work.
And you told me you work at the front desk at Coronado Springs at Disney.
Yes.
How long have you worked there?
Okay.
Less than a week.
Okay. Did you work anywhere prior to that?
It's verified now that she had off Monday and Tuesday, so why is Stefan even there? She was worn out from work, so she needed Stefan there to take care of Maddie and do the routines, but she's off Monday and Tuesday, so why did she need him there? You go to take your kid to school, do the blood appointment, come home and take a nap. Like, what do you mean? She didn't need Stefan there, so why is he there?
I was a substitute teacher for Kelly Education.
And how long did you do that?
Maybe a month or two. Not not very long. And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
Okay, here we get into this.
Primarily PTSD.
From what?
PTSD, bipolar 2, generalized anxiety, ADHD. I think that's pretty much it with my psychiatric stuff.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with...
I went on a date with a guy I had met.
Was this before Stefan or?
Yes, before
okay.
Stefan. This was right before. It was a few years before Stefan, or maybe the year before Stefan. But met a guy at a car dealership who interviewed me for a job. I turned the job down, and he said, "Oh, great, I can't date my employees." And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to take you out on a date." And I said, "Oh, wow, I've never been asked out on a date in person before."
We could look the address up on Zillow, but I mean it's out there already, and I don't even know if they still own the apartment. But there's lots of pictures of the apartment out there. Yeah, I don't know. I've got most of the things she just mentioned as well, and I don't collect disability. Right, Queen.
And we went out on a date. He got really drunk. We got back to his place.
And she talks about how he took advantage of her when she was out on this date. And again, you knew the symptoms, but you didn't protect your, like you never saw any kind of symptoms or anything when it came to Maddie. I don't believe it.
All right.
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
My entire day was focused around Maddie.
On a normal basis?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would wake up first thing in the morning, make sure she was ready, make her breakfast, get her backpack and water bottle ready. If she's taking lunch, get her some lunch ready.
Entire day.
This is me doing this while she's getting ready. Walk the dog, come back, make sure she takes all her medications before school, take her to school, come back. I typically have a bunch of doctor's appointments to go to often, so I'm either at doctor's appointments. If I'm not at doctor's appointments, I'm just here at home, probably napping, resting, just waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again. She was my entire, like, everything I did was, my everyday was for her.
Did Stefan know about your doctor appointment on Monday? Did you tell him what your plans were on Sunday?
I'm not sure when I told him. I must have told him Sunday night, yeah, or Sunday, because there's no way I could have told him Monday morning if he didn't have his phone on him, and I didn't really talk to him that morning.
Where'd you meet him?
We both worked at a real estate office off of iDrive somewhere. They're called Eco Homes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they exist anymore though. The Eco Home Company. I think he was a real estate agent for them or did warranty work for them. And I was an appointment setter. And I didn't have that job for very long. I got fired. It was right after my PTSD incident. I couldn't hold down a job at all.
Okay, so Stefan's parents fired her from the job where they met because we know Stefan's parents own that because of the PTSD shit. I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
So when you and Stefan would hang out, say Maddie's at school and you two wanted to hang out, or the three of you wanted to hang out, like what would you guys do? Like where would you go? Or
Primarily Disney. We have Disney annual pass holders. We both worked for Disney at one point. Well, at least he worked there at one point. I still work there. But we go to Disney. We go to Disney. where we stayed home and like they would play board games, or we'd watch. Well, we loved watching movies. We would always have family time, just watch a new movie. Like,
yeah,
I felt like it was one of our projects to make sure that she watched all the good movies from the 80s and 90s that we watched growing up watching. I just wanted her to like have the knowledge of pop culture. So last movie we watched with her was Sister Act.
When was that?
Sunday night.
okay.
Would you go out to like eat anywhere?
She just said we watched the movie Sister Act Sunday night, but supposedly you didn't see her that night. Oh, she did see her that night. Okay, I was wrong. Yeah, because she said they talked about her birthday presents and counted her money. Okay.
Like a favorite restaurant or anything like that?
The only restaurant I think we frequented a handful of times in the last year is La Mexicana. It's on off of Columbia.
Possible, Miss Morrison.
Honestly, living on disability and then his income at Disney, like, it wasn't enough to survive. We really didn't eat out often. Couldn't afford it.
Would you go like visit any parks, or other than not Disney parks, but like neighborhood parks or anything like that?
No, we'd hang out right here at this lake. Maddie really liked hanging out at this lake and just drawing, sitting on one of the benches and drawing. Any other park? No, not really.
Now, what if it was just you and him, say going out on a date or wherever? Where would you guys typically go?
So, due to money, hardly ever went out on a date.
Why the long pause?
Honestly, we hardly went out on dates. There's only one date I can think of that we went on, and that was like years ago at the beginning of our relationship, where we went to Disney Springs. I went to the Edison. I don't think we've had many date nights, just him and me. It's always been the three of us doing something, going to dinner, going to Disney Springs. We visit Disney Springs often. Well, not often, but sometimes. We really.
Boomer said if she got home at 10:30 and sent him to sleep at 11, when did they see Sister Act? Good question. I'm going to have to stop for the day here in just a minute, but we're going to pick back up and we're going to get into the Woody Allen comment. I'm also going to go through and get some more timelines together so I can pinpoint her inaccuracies. We'll still listen.
Really liked that restaurant, Deluxe Burger.
Yeah.
Really good. She really enjoyed it there.
I think she did too.
Now, the dynamic between you three. I know you told me that sometimes you and her would sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes the three of you would sleep in the bed. And then sometimes you would send him and her to a bedroom so you could get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Okay, so
long to think about.
I'm going to say back in June. It was primarily the three of us sleeping in bed together all the time.
And why? How did that start?
Maddie has always slept in the bed with me. She's always slept in my room. Only when we lived in that apartment in Northport did she have her own bedroom. And we could have.
So this is another thing. I guess we'll end on this for today. Another thing that doesn't make sense. She got home at 10:30. She sent them to bed at 11. And we know that she talked about her birthday money, her presents, her money. She was so excited right after her birthday party. But they also watched Sister Act. That's weird. We're going to leave. Excuse me. Hold on a minute. Sorry, y'all. we're going to stop here for today. I'm going to go through some more interviews. We're going to pick right back up there because I want us to talk about the Woody Allen comment tomorrow. We're going to stop here for today, and then we'll pick back up on that interview tomorrow. I'm also going to go through some more interviews and get some more, like recap them and get some more timelines set up. And I'm going to print out more of the murder indictment so we can go through that, or I can go through it. I need to get another video out reading that. And I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It's Saturday, so I need to spend some time with my family, so I'm going to try to keep it at exactly 3 hours today. Hey, Patty. Hey, Mommy Ball. Yeah, it's a lot of things. The biggest thing I'm having trouble with is the got home at 10:30, sent them to bed at 11, but watched Sister Act, and then 7:35, he's at the dumpster. The earliest Jen could have been woken up would have been 7, but she assumes it was around 8. So if we're going to say she misspoke, that's still not enough time to walk the dog and get Maddie out of the house. And you mean to also tell me that Jen sprang up like a spring chicken when he was trying to put the leash on the dog, but didn't spring up when he's carrying a body through the house? I can't. I'm not believing that. I'm not sure if the trial will be televised. I hope so. Sarah Boone was. Now, I don't know about the CSAM stuff, but hopefully the homicide trial will. Thank you, everybody, for your support and for being here. Please hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. I really appreciate it. It helps us get out into the algorithm. The posse rides at dawn to go get Jen Soto. And Inspector BS is going to be out for the rest of the night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You guys are what makes this channel great, because I could talk to myself and review this case every day of my life if I wanted to, but it means nothing without you guys being here. So thank you for that. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.